Dark Archangel, and welcome to today's video. I just wanted to throw out my very first initial thoughts about Borderlands 4 and everything that I've been able to see and play with it, really. And this is just going to be really off script and just my initial thoughts, a little bit of editing, and just basic gameplay in the background. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so to start off, first impressions are that the game is great. The game is great, and it's pretty much everything I asked for in a Borderlands game, or it been asking for in a Borderlands game for fucking years. A lot of the old Borderlands mechanics are back, and the story's really, really grittier and just overall better. A lot of the mechanics is great. They tuned up the guns from 3. A lot of the guns that still felt floaty are a lot better, and it's a really faster paced, really. And so, first off, the first thing I want to get to is, let's see. Well, seeing as it's one of the first things that they wanted to sort of focus on, our first is movement. Let's talk about that. So the movement abilities are great. You have now two dodges, although I haven't got to in-game, so I haven't got everything upgraded. So this is coming off a little bit off the cuff, but again, first impressions. Out the gate, you get 2 dodges, 2 double jumps, grapple hook, and ground pound, and is that it? Yeah. Oh yeah, and sliding. Yeah, you get to slide again too, and you get mantling, and you have climbable like great surfaces. So that's really good. It helps out a lot with puzzle solving, and it's actually really good for helping hide chests. And essentially, they have sort of Dying Light outposts, like you know, like outposts where you can get vendors, get more ammo, health, items, collectibles, stuff like that. And it also acts like a watchtower from like Assassin's Creed Far Cry. Just really open world stuff, but it's actually really good because it's the first time we're really having this in Borderlands. I'll talk about that more late, the specific of the open world stuff later. But um, as for movement and stuff, it's great. Especially in a boss fight. The bosses themselves I'll talk about later too. But it was great because in this boss fight, and you can feel it in a lot of the game and the mechanics. Like enemies will rush you, and they'll like not back off, and they'll just pressure you. And so it's good that they return to more of a pre-sequel style stuff where sort of enemies will pressure you. Like they give you more movement stuff, and enemies aren't just like standing still, and you can't and you just run circles around them and kill them without them even being able to shoot at you. No, you need to move. Like these movement tools aren't just given to you, and then you can just zoom around them like the Flash, and then you can just kill them off without any like trouble. You need to move. You need to dash. You need to double jump. You need to slide, ground pound, grapple barrels, throw things at them, stuff like that. You need to do that, or else you are going to die. And we'll talk about combat later. But as for right now, the movement is pretty good. It is actually damn good. It is better than what we had in the pre-sequel, which was basically only a double jump and a ground pound. And even then, the pre-sequel movement was really good for how bare bones it was. Sorry, fixing my chair. But it's even better now because it's just so much more expanded, and it's actually built into the stuff. Like, for instance, I'll talk about these, get into actual Vault Hunters later, but I was genuinely surprised because they had actually baked the ground pound into Rafa's ability, because I started out with Rafa, into his arc knives. Like, I didn't expect them to do that. I thought he was just going to do a generic ground pound, but it actually triggered his abilities on melee damage. So ground pounds aren't considered their own thing anymore. They are considered melee damage. Before, I think they were like this weird like this weird thing where they were a cross between melee and splash. It was weird. Only Amara could really get anything out of them, but then again, she was full melee. But then they were only half melee. But then she had stuff to build into that. It was weird, but now they've kind of fixed that, and they've even baked it into some of the abilities that would normally be able to benefit from that, which is really cool. Um, as for another sort of means of travel is the DigiRunner. I had a section here in my notes and sort of the format we're going for on like open world stuff, which is I just labeled Kairos in general, but I'm just going to talk about the DigiRunner here. It's weird. It's weird, honestly. I'd honestly want the three vehicles back because the DigiRunner's weird. It's it's essentially an upgradable Sparrow from Destiny. I'm not gonna dance around it. It's weird. Although they say it, I've seen that there's up. You basically to get it to go faster, you have different drives and stuff, but you can't like tack armor and stuff on like you could with Borderlands 3. And I understand why they didn't keep three's version around because of the just. I mean, from what I've heard, people's rigs are dying anyway of just the load on people's machines, and if you could just spawn in, like imagine this, because this is why they removed it. It's because the teleport to vehicle option and fast travel to vehicle option. Now, if you could just do that from anywhere on the map, it would melt your rig. It would just melt it. It's just gone. It's gone, and it's gone. And that's why they had to remove this and just allow you to spawn in a vehicle wherever you want. And also, I can imagine, it's a big world. Like it's big. Like when they said Elden Ring size, they meant it. They meant it. I mean, I was stunned, and we'll talk about this more later. But it's just like you get to the first area, and then you have this big running way, and me and my friend get off track, and we try and go do this side quest, and we're like, "Holy shit, this is a large area. I wonder whenever we're gonna." Get somewhere else. And then we're just like, oh, hey, that was just that entire big ass area you just got done. Yeah, that was just the tutorial area. What? And then we immediately stopped doing that side quest to go get our DigiRunners because it was taking forever. But I feel like we've lost some customization options for the cars because it's just the DigiRunner's just not as customizable. Like you can get different runners and everything, but they're just purely cosmetic. They don't have any stats or anything, and it all depends on what's called the drive you put in it. But again, you can't customize the specs on those drives. They each have just defined specs, and it's just like if you want to go fast, use this one. If you want more armor, use this one. And if you want more guns, use this one. But as of right now, I have the DigiRunner doesn't hit as hard as the runners and the technicals. So the runners, the technicals, and the cyclones. So as of right now, there's just been no real reason to fight with it. So I literally just cram the drive that has the highest speed thing on it or the highest boost thing on it, and I just go and I don't fight anyone with it. So on that front, I do wish we could have gotten the really flushed out car customization from 3 back, but um, I do realize why they did this. But overall, it's all right. Like if you're looking for just a car mechanic to get around your extremely big open world, yeah, it's fine. It's and they're real, and the Digicycle itself does look cool and has lots of very good designs. So it's not like it's the worst system, but again, I would have preferred threes, but I understand why it was done. Well, and with that, we shall move on to one of the big ones, that being weapons. Okay, so getting into my first experience with the weapons is they're fucking great. I'm gonna say that full like staring into my icon on my screen like I have a camera. They're fucking great. Okay, like you have to get. I have to drive this home for you. First off, they said is like the license parts, right? So it's like, oh, other corporations could have like gimmicks and stuff. And we actually saw, now thinking back about it, first time we actually saw this wasn't in this game. First saw it in 3 with stuff like the Damned or the Handsome Jackhammer or the the auto aim, or the shit, what was the other ones? Basically, we saw stuff like that, like how the dam was a lot of assault rifle with a Hyperion shield, or a um the Hyperion, the Handsome Jackhammer was a Hyperion with a TDR throw mechanic, or the auto aim was a Dulles sniper rifle with a Atlas tracking darts. This They were obviously concepting this while they were making 3, and we're basically saving it for 4. Don't know it. Well, it could have probably the PS4 could have probably handled stuff like this, but yeah, I still like 3. It's very good, but not getting into that right now. But yeah, like to put a emphasis on what we have here, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Because originally, when I saw it during the reveal and the trailers, where they revealed, oh, you're going to have, and it was in the trailer where they were still basically using the what looked like the art for the parts from 3, which was, I thought they were just going to drag and drop three's parts into 4 and basically say, all right, everything's unlocked, everyone has their own company parts, but we're going to let those company parts intermix, and so you will get a Jacob's barrel on a Hyperion sniper, and then it will have increased crit, but also have a front-facing shield. Or you'll have, or what they showed off, which was the Torg stickies on the. Oh yeah, that was another one. The Doc, which was a Jacobs with Torg stickies. It was in 3 too, but and speaking of that, but no, actually, everything seems to have its own parts. And it works. It somehow works. I have a Jacobs sniper rifle that has an underbarrel pump shotgun, a 3 or 4 round underbarrel pump shotgun. This shit is the best. And then I also found a Jacobs revolver with an underbarrel missile launcher. And then I also found a Order SMG that turned into a shotgun. And here's the best thing that blew me away that I found just last night. We have railguns back! Like actual pre-sequel laser railguns, not like how they were in 3, where it's just essentially a Mala 1 sniper rifle they called a railgun. No, it actually functions as an underbarrel attachment for a Mala 1 SMG, and it actually functions like a pre-sequel railgun. Oh, that made me so happy. And oh, by the way, my Borderlands 1 vets, just like me, we have TDR assault rifles and Vladov SMGs back. No idea why they left. And also, we have high caliber pistols back. They're only order right now, but I hope they roll this out, because you see, the order's gimmick, as we figured out, was so the order's gimmick was they can use different ammunition types. Well, I thought, oh, so it's just gonna like turn guns into other things. Well, with some guns, yes, they'll just start consuming that gun's ammunition type. For instance, you will start out the game with a white order pistol, and its whole gimmick is it can use either pistol ammo or SMG, but it shoots pretty much the same. Once you start getting basically more stuff on it that has different effects on it, you get, oh hey, here's a order SMG. Oh wait, this SMG also can be a shotgun. And it's a full auto shotgun that can use shotgun ammunition. This extends to pistols that can use sniper ammo. Yes, high caliber pistols are back, boys. And it actually has this really cool thing where some order pistols can charge up and use shotgun rounds. Sorry, that's my AC coming on. Will charge up and use shotgun rounds, meaning mashers are back. I have yet to see them on Jacobs, and if it's only for order, I'm going to be really sad, because again, I'm not at in-game yet, so it's going to be really sad if we can't use Jacobs mashers, which is going to be, it's going to make me sad. But oh yeah, and even Jacobs has its own 2 new underbarrel attachments that I found, which was this Jacobs assault rifle had a dual underbarrel blunderbuss. It was a black powder blunderbuss that you charge up, basically light the fuses, and it's like a double-barreled like cannon or just blunderbuss that you shoot, and it's like this high damage, like either like musket or it's like a proto shotgun, and it does high damage, but you only get one shot. And then this other sniper, other than the rockets and shotgun, I saw had a crank SMG underbarrel, and that's just some of the crazy shit I've seen so far. Dahl is not in the game. Have not seen any Atlas. Torg is still doing Torg things. They brought actually back Torg grenade launchers, if you believe it, from the first game. The ones that shoot rockets, and not like it is a not like in two where you had the gyros that shoot rockets, but like these shotguns that shot the big slugs. They actually brought those back for shotguns, and you can actually switch between the rocket propelled slugs or impact grenades, and it turns the shotgun into like a rotary grenade launcher. It's great. The weapons, I genuinely thought these were going to be like half baked, just slapped together weapons, but no, they are they are more advanced and more varied. They're more advanced and varied than they have been in years. And when they say there are like 330 bazillion guns, they mean it. And also talking about the things is that you can actually get phosphorescent guns that I've seen towards in game. I've gotten two legendaries. They're both armor shields. They're very good. They're very good. But as of right now, they are not raining. Legendary loot is not raining. I get a couple, mostly blues and purples. I've had two legendary drops. Badasses are fucking everywhere, so you have a good chance, but it's just not going to happen all the time. Um. So, but what was I talking about? Basically, you have these legendary wraps called phosphorescence, and I think they brought back supers from Borderlands 3, which are variants, which were basically their idea of sort of how do we tackle hybrids. Although I've heard, don't take me as gospel. I need to look into it, but I have heard people have been running into hybrids. That's right. That's right. Again, my BL1 vets. We might have hybrids back, and that is so fucking like the thought of that happening is just that's so fucking good. I've only ever got one hybrid from Borderlands 1, and that was the Ajax Ogre. And it was when a ogre dropped with an Ajax accessory on it, and it was so good. But we will have to see. I will try and find one. If I can't, oh well. But as for yep, no, that's all the notes I wrote down for well, actually, Order also has a lot more stuff because it also has Ordinite, which is it it amplifies explosive and splash damage, and counts as that too. And also, the Order weapons have like homing drones and stuff like that too. Other than that, that's pretty much all for the weapons. Also, we are later in DLC 1, which I think is supposed to be coming out in November. We are supposed to be getting Pearlescence back. But with that, let us move on to our next topic, combat. Now, moving on to combat. Let me combat. So combat is a lot more responsive than it is in Borderlands 3. Even though I get a lot of desync, I've been having a lot of desync issues on PS5 because that's where I play. I know I've been hearing a lot of people have that with when having that problem with the game, but other Borderlands 3, it was weird. It was there was a lot of either desync issues or just scaling issues. A lot of that doesn't seem to be the case here. The sandbox feels so much better tuned. I mean, it feels a little weird. Like I wish they were because they spawn so many badass enemies. Like so many badass enemies. I'm talking you will be sitting the density is very nice. It's very medium density. It doesn't feel like you're being overwhelmed, but it also doesn't feel like there are too few enemies. It always feels like just the right amount of enemies you can handle. But then, and it will also go up and down because I was playing with my friend, and as soon as he left, the number will go down, but it feels almost perfectly scaled. Like they nailed the scaling. And if it keeps true to the in-game, I'm loving this. Like genuinely feeling like they love this. Apparently there are 5 ultimate modes and
Never fear, well spring. The mountain brims with fortune today. Bruce met an unfortunate end right near you. But even in death, he is not finished with us. Retrieve his control core.
But as of right now, the scaling is amazing. Enemies are way more responsive than this game. I love what 3 tried to do with the enemies, but overall it just kind of didn't work. They tried to vary where you could hit them with their crit spots. They tried to get them how they move, tried to get them to fly around and stuff. It just didn't work because you didn't have the tools you needed to in this game. You needed to handle that like you do in this game. Like you didn't have the freedom of movement you do in this game. But well, first let me get on to my first one, and that is now fixed because unlike
when I get back.
how they would just move around and do all that in Borderlands 3, they honestly just didn't feel like they responded to combat rep. Like you just kept shooting them, and they wouldn't react. Other than the occasional like Jacob or shotgun knocking them down or ragdolling them or something, or a grenade ragdolling them or something. In this game, however, they react when you get shot. Like them getting knocked over is a lot more common. If you shoot them in the body enough, they'll like stagger a little bit. If you shoot them with a critical, they'll like do a roll and be on the ground for a little bit. They'll more consistently ragdoll. Like enemies hit and will like swarm you and do all of that, but they like respond way better to being actually hit and attack, and it's basically what I really want. Because I don't know if many of you play 76 or Fallout 4, but in that game, if you basically go towards like a crippler build, where you focus on crippling people's limbs, you genuinely have to feel like John Wick, because it feels like you're basically committing gun foo on a guy. Basically, like he swings on you, shoot into his shoulder, cripple that leg, then you shoot into his leg and melee him into the face. It literally feels like you're pulling off some nonsense if you have that kind of movement. And it genuinely feels like that, where you genuinely feel like a professional soldier fighting other professionals on a battlefield, and not just some rank and file guy shooting at dudes that have enough armor to literally like extra bullets if you don't need to clear their back. At least in the higher levels. Then again, it feels way less like they did in the in-game of 3, where it was literally the enemies have their big I can one-shot you move, and you have your big one-shot you move, and then you just see who gets it out first, and it's either you die first or they do, and then neither one of you react to that. Getting none of that from this. It is very much more like Borderlands 1, even more so. They've also doubled down a lot more on the RPG mechanics, and it just feels combat feels so much better, so much more fun. And I mentioned earlier, boss fights. What I loved. I've only gotten to 1 or maybe 3 boss fights so far, as I've only played the first area. And the commander of that area being Idolater Soul. Good God, that boss fight was epic. I loved it. It felt like I was playing, I wasn't playing Borderlands. I felt like I was playing Ultimate in the game when I was fighting Mark. It felt like that.
I'm alright.
It was not, see, in Borderlands 3, you fight Greyboard. And Greyboard has this big beam attack and all that stuff, and like the big area attacks and his big radioactive damage and stuff, and his big stuff like that. Soul is just like that, but unlike Greyboard, who had really bad scaling, and just some of his attacks, I'm pretty sure, was just coded badly, or I just don't know what happened. Because he would do the big fire beam, And then it would just 9 times out of 10, or maybe like 7 to 9 times out of 10, it would just not hit you. Not even if you were dodging, it would just stand in the middle of it, and it would kill you. Or it would kill you. Well, it would either kill you or one. It was completely inconsistent. A lot of the attacks, and you didn't know whether you should dodge them, just try and face tank them, or do anything with them. And then there was also like very bad telegraphing on that sort of process where it was just like, oh, I'm just gonna basically hope for no reason. Because I just decided, hey, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Or then what laser's gonna go a little bit farther this time, and then you just think, well, okay, I'll just face tank it. But no, it does like a bajillion damage in one shot, dude. Not here. The bosses all have clearly telegraphed moves, and they make full use out of the movement tech. When I say, oh, I had to dodge it, I mean it. Because, like, Saul had me dodging like he was fucking Martin. He was like a witness of me. As he would just jump, his big ass would just jump up into the air and, like, summon his big blade and just slam down. And it was just like, if you don't dodge, you're going to die. It felt like the perfect... Like, I've wanted something like this for a while. I've wanted Gearbox to make a sort of, like, Dark Souls with guns. Like, they did it with Borderlands, because originally that's what Borderlands was, which was originally pitched as like Diablo with guns. And so I know they helped publish and work a little bit on Remnant 2, but Remnant 2 leans a little bit too much into the Dark Souls side, where, in my opinion, the gunplay doesn't really work unless you really build into it. But then it's like using the guns or like using a bow in Dark Souls, and it's just like, unless you know what you're doing, or you have a really hypertized build towards doing that very one thing, it doesn't feel good. Whereas this feels like I was fighting a Dark Souls boss, where he had me on the pressure, he telegraphed his moves, and there were clear times it was like, you need to get off the floor, you need to jump, you need to dodge, you need to weave, or you are going to die. And it took me a good 4 solid attempts to kill him. And he had good mechanics, and just, it was like, if you know what, it's like, hey, you know what to do, you know how the moves are telegraphed. If you ignore the telegraphing, you are going to die. And it was just great. It was great. It was great overall design and everything. The story up to him, which we'll get into in a minute. And it was just great. I'm still thinking about it. I want to go play more. Like, I'm probably going to get more footage. Probably go play more and get more footage. I'm waiting right now. But, like, it was just great. But, well, with that, let's move on to story. Okay, so now talking on the story, it's great. It takes a lot from Borderlands.
It's getting a little too shiny for my
like better elements of Borderlands 2. I would just say, and this is me saying right now, this is your warning. I'm going to talk about what I have got up to the story spoilers, or up to past for Saul, and 2. I have gotten up to beginning the Augur quest, where you start the area for Violent 2. And I will be talking about quests, side quests, and stuff, so this is your warning. If you don't want to get, if you don't want to be spoiled on that, just skip to the next section. And now, if not, here we go. Okay, so, we start off, we are in jail. Timekeeper has imprisoned us. Timekeeper, really fucking dark. Really dark story. I mean, it is mature. I mean, it genuinely had me going, what the fuck, all the way through. Well, maybe not what the fuck, but like, holy hell, like, how are they allowed to do that? So, flash cut, we're in jail. Even in the opening cinematic, the Rippers, the bad guys of the game, are ripping people's spines out. I'm talking like this really graphic animation where they just go down, they grab it, they wrench it out, and it just drives this woman insane. They plant a freaking fucking psycho mask on somebody, and they just straight up go insane.
In the cave.
Okay, so basically after that, then you are in jail. You get implanted with one of those
After what you've just done to her, I'm not surprised.
and
We'll
then
get
Echo
Lilith
4 is
out.
given
Just
to
find
you,
your way inside to Hermes
and
and
that's how
me.
you jam the bolt. That's why the Timekeeper isn't controlling you. The Hulk
Bruce's
control
core
everybody,
contains
so
the
he can see through
concentrated
everything,
ordinite that
and it's
demolished those
implied
phase
that
barriers
everyone
before.
in
Take it to the
Resistance
engineering bay. I
has
can
a
repurpose
bolt,
it
they
for
just
you.
have a way of jamming.
Machine gunner!
It's really dark, because you need to stand in RJ, you have a little prison break. Timekeeping literally forces all the other prisoners to kill themselves. I'm talking just straight hand to chin and back of the head, crack kill. And holy shit, when they say they were pulling something like that, it feels like, I'm gonna get a little bit, it feels like we're out of bounds. That's really what I felt about Borderlands 3, is it really felt like, not that Gearbox couldn't write a good story, it's that Gearbox was just kind of afraid to write a good story. It's just, they were tiptoeing around with it. It's like, okay, what's gonna piss people off, what's not, what's good this week, what's not, what are people gonna call us out for, what's not. And this time I feel like they just don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. They want to just tell their story and get on with it. And it is really fucking dark. But it also is very funny. It has very funny parts. The main story campaign is very dark, although one critique I would say I have about the Timekeeper is... And I have not gotten to the end of the story yet, so there might be some prudence for this, because one of the robots said something, one of the robots said, "You shall fall like Jack," and yeah, that's kind of why I feel like about the Timekeeper, he's Jack-like, or they're kind of like Jack to the Let me regale you with a story. A charismatic megalomaniac that takes over the planet, saying, "We shall bring order and stability to the planet." He says he is the true hero, and that you are the chaos incarnate, and that you are nothing but bad. Sound familiar? Yeah. I just described Handsome Jack in a nutshell. I also just described the Timekeeper in a nutshell. Now, I will say, the Timekeeper, from what I've seen, I haven't finished the game yet. I have not finished the game yet. And the Timekeeper does seem to have his own relationships, backstory, all that kind of stuff, and I am looking forward to see how he is connected with the Iridians, and this is a big spoiler, because the Iridians did make him immortal, apparently. And they also locked him up with a bolt. Now, this isn't technically spoiling, because, the trailers, the game itself, everybody's keen to mention that he's locked in a vault, or he stays in his vault. He is a vault monster. The Iridians made him immortal for some reason. Don't know yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And he is just in a vault. Now, there are also Iridian writers from Iliad, and she talked about meeting the Timekeeper. And then but we also know that she knew about him. But we also know that she was on Pyros, but was also knew the Iridians, knew where the Iridian homeworld was, and then she has to go from Pyros to the Iridian homeworld, kill the Iridians, go back to her sisters, and then go back to Necro. So how did she get off Pyros? Is the big thing I'm hoping for her messages. But just, it's a dark story overall. Just like, the Timekeeper is not afraid to kill people that get his way in any and most way possible. RJ dies. The Timekeeper literally forces RJ after he gets Echo 4 from him to literally stab himself in the chest. It's very dark. And then it's followed with a little brevity. You wake up on a beach with Clap Tap. He throws garbage at you until he wakes up. And then you help him do a Far Cry tower. I'm joking. It's not a Far Cry tower. It's kind of more like an outpost. Long Dying Light. I keep making that joke, but it's even nice. But they're nice. Again, there's nothing against that system. It's a very good system. It works, which is why they probably chose to do it. And it's very good. It is very well implemented. It's not really this climbing puzzles. It's a climbing puzzles, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, especially when you get into the idolater Saul thing, who basically is the guy who worships the timekeeper. He is making a bio weapon and bio armor, and just what he does, man. He has a thing with the bio weapon is called Locust, and he basically uses locusts, which are like these tiny flying parasites that are also like this acidic compound, this like parasite slash acidic compound, and he literally will feed people to this locust, and it will break them down into like this bio armor. And like in his boss fight, that's what he does to like regain his armor. Literally, the people that jump down to help him in the arena, he will literally then consume them, and then they'll start screaming and they will literally say like, "You promised." And he will literally convert them back to bio armor, and then he's literally reduced into like a pile of meat on the floor when you finally kill him. Very dark, very mature games.
Got any more Bruce
But
bombs?
side content, fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. Literally, I felt like we were home. We were home again. Like, we were back in Borderlands 1, just having a good fucking time. Not caring who gives a damn of what we see, what is seen, or what is heard.
I'm inside and headed your way.
Basically,
how are you and
side
Hermes holding up?
We've got the bastards running
side
scared.
content
But it looks like our rift sent us to the other side of the
basically really
fortress
good.
from you.
Each
Meet us on the upper
side
level.
quest is now chained. They have chains. So these days, beautiful quest chained. So side content is more expanded than ever. It also is very good. First quest we went into literally Gramps needs us to help him get a quote moonshine hangover cure, so them damn Yankees that he sold his hooch to will sober up and buy more. And for all y'all that don't know, I'm from the South, and I find that really funny. No disrespect to all y'all from up north. That's just funny. It's no disrespect. It's all funny good fun. And then later on, we found a quest called Mating Season, where you have to help a farmer breed a thresher. I'm not going to expunge on that anymore. I'm going to let your imagination run wild with that, because it's filled with nothing but innuendos, and he has this big love trap where you have to help him breed threshers, so he can have them plow his fields. And he can't
The evil is one thing. Insulting Rafa's potency? Unforgivable.
Oh, he can't help but insist on how much his loins quiver in anticipation for how well the threshers have his field. It's fucking great. Side characters are really good. Rush is probably my favorite side character. Pretty much rolled 2.0, let's be honest. But again, he's great. He's Jim Bro. He's Zavala. He's a more lighthearted, down-to-earth Zavala who's actually there. And that's also another thing that I noticed and I like a lot more with the story is that there are actually good civilians out in Pandora, and that's the one for Kairos. And that's the one thing I didn't like about Pandora. It was always like, oh, why are the Gold Hunters solving everybody's problems? Why do all of the and I did like this segment in 3. It's just, and I think this is why they did it, because everybody gushed about that segment in 3 where you're riding along with the Lance and the Jacob's militia, and they're helping you fight. And so I think they incorporated this, is that as you go and as you fight, you will encounter friendly civilians or just fellow wanderers or farmers and stuff like that, and they will help you fight. Literally, civilians that aren't under the order will help you take up arms and fight the Rippers and or the order. Now, say like you have some civilians working farms, they won't fight the order. But if you have nomads that are on this side of the road, they'll help you fight the Rippers too. And if you're, as always, if you're not around and there's some order and some Rippers, they'll start fighting each other. It's really great, and it makes the world feel even more alive. And that's what is great, because in those big story section, it isn't just, oh, the Crimson Raiders are helping you, but for some reason it's only Brick and Mordecai helping you in Heroes Pass, or like, all this shit. But then there's like, in this one, there's like a good group of like 30 to 40 people having this attack on this base, because Saul tries to convert basically these guys that are trying to join the Crimson Resistance with you into armor, and he just basically tries to attack their base. And instead of everybody just running for the bunkers, no, everybody grabs guns. Remember, hey, we can fight too, and they start fucking shit up, and it's awesome. You actually feel like you're a member of a group, and not just, oh shit, it's up to me to fix everyone's problems again. Like, I know, like, in the original one, it worked because you're mercenaries, specifically, like, starting trouble, and that's why people didn't want to help you, because they're like, why are you starting shit? And then in the second one, you are fighting with the Resistance, but the Resistance has been really down. And then in the third one, it didn't really make sense. I'm really starting to not like how the Raiders are constantly on the back foot. It's just like, why? Why can't the Raiders keep members for like more than 5 seconds? They built them up in 3. I know for a fact Sanctuary's crashed because I've just seen that in multiple like playthroughs, and we've also seen that in trailers. Sanctuary, Amara, Zane, and Moxie for some fucking reason crashed Sanctuary, so we don't know where Marcus is. We know Ellie's going to be in a upcoming DLC, and Amara, Zane, and Moxie are with Sanctuary. But I'm just really tired of the Raiders just falling apart every game. It's just like, why? Why can't you just stay together? And I know pretty much the reason why is like basically every game they switch up leadership. It was basically Lilith, Big Art, and also, and I know they probably also do it so that the people will see the Raiders like $100 heroes and stuff. But don't! You don't need, they're still the underdog heroes. So what? They have like, well, I mean they do have backing from 2 of the biggest corporations, but they still only have like 1 planet, maybe 5 allied planets together. Cool. They're still up against multi-galaxy spanning corporations. Let them have like a little defense force that's more than just like 10 people who can actually do shit. And the 10 people I'm talking about is the main Vault Hunters. I'm talking about Salvador, Maya, Recipies, Zero, all of Rafa, Vex, all of the actual Vault Hunters who can actually do shit. Like have little soldiers, like instead of like how we used to in Sanctuary and stuff, we like patrolling around and shit. And they've really done that. But other than that, the stories are really good. The story content is very good. The side quest characters are very likable. I got a little jump scared when I heard Mara, but other than that, yeah, it's very good, and I'm loving the actual changes to the story and the updates to the story. And the added roles, actually, as always, are very good. And with that, on to RPG mechanics. Now, this is the most exciting technique. The boys are back. It's so fucking back. It's so back. That's how excited I am. I broke my fucking chair. Literally, we have proficiency. We have we have swimming and fishing back. We have long quest chains. We have an open world. We have so much shit. We Borderlands 1's purists, because for a lot of people who don't know, Borderlands 1 originally had a lot of elements like Fallout, Skyrim, Cyberpunk, where you could really build up these proficiencies with your characters, and there were like pickups and consumables and buffs and stuff like that out actually in the world that made it feel way more alive. And that's what they finally did. Proficiencies are back in a big way, which is what I've been asking for years. Like, you know, the whole Skyrim thing where it was just like, oh, your lockpick has increased by 1 by picking a bunch of fucking locks. Borderlands originally had that in Borderlands 1. They since ripped it out and then tried to replace it as with every game. For 2 and 3 sequel, it was Badass rank. For 3 and Wonderlands, it was Guardian rank, and I think it was Guardian rank, and I don't remember off the top of my head what it was for Wonderlands. I can't remember. I didn't play enough for Wonderlands, but then I was I was doing stuff during Wonderlands, so I didn't have really a lot of time to chew on that. But and then for Borderlands 3, it was Guardian Rank. But the original proficiencies are back. I think we got something. Basically, it is proficiencies. They have stuff that your proficiencies naturally go up with level and how much you use a weapon, which is nice. It is back. It is awesome, which means you are just passively training and making characters good. Also, what me and my friend used to call hunting is back. Because the way they've done level scaling and everything like that, now actually going out of your way to find badasses and like camp badass enemy locations and hunt like badass creatures and stuff will net you a lot of XP. Because holy shit, the XP in this game, you get a lot of it. I mean, I was barely on the second stretch of the quest, so basically at the game I was almost level I don't know if there's axe, because it's just kind of missions, and it's really freeform. It is very open world. Very freeform, very open world. Basically, open world gives you all of the basically tackle it your way, very RPG. Just like, here's all the quests, here's all the areas, go and tackle them in any way you want. But basically, the proficiency are back, and you naturally now scale your character, which is awesome. And also, you on your gear, it actively states that you have proficiency towards these things, and from your gear enhancements, they're called enhancements now, not class mods, which don't know how I feel about that. But, well, actually, I don't think it's class mods. I think it's yeah, no, it's replaced artifacts. Basically, artifacts got replaced. But it outright states that you have better proficiencies with said weapons and stuff, with action proficiencies. And I went looking through the skill tabs, and yes, you passively get the proficiencies back, which is awesome. And then they added even better little stuff like collectibles, like you can bobbleheads that find on the field, there's more things you can swim, fish, you can do so much more stuff, and it's so me and a few select veterans from Borderlands 3 knew for many years that you could absolutely have more RPG elements added into Borderlands that it would make especially like everybody's just like obsessed with guns, and you know it should be obsessed with it. It should be a little cycle, you know. It's in with the setting, but when you run into the problem with 3, and it's like, well, it's really easy to get done, or the scaling is really bad, so what's the point of farming 300 legendaries if none of them are good? You know, like, none of them are good, and there's only like 30 of them are good. You go get all the 30 of them. Well, they're only slightly good, and you need to go do a build around them. But once you have that done, what's to do? You know? It's like, what do I do now? And they're like, well, that's the fun of the game, then you start a new run. Well, what if I don't want to start a new run? I want something fun to do with this build and this done, because if experiencing the build itself is why you're building the build, and not to do a specific thing, why are you doing it? It's like, really, if you don't have a raid boss or anything in-game like to do that, and by the way, they do have raid bosses back. They're in bolts, and they're awesome. It's like, why are you doing these things? And that's what they've done. They've added lots of things. They've added invincibles, they've added proficiencies, they've added fishing, swimming, just lots of ways to interact with the world, little jumping puzzles. They've literally made like little mini games of actually having to go and find vault keys. Yes, vault hunting is an actual side objective now, where you can find minor vaults on Pandora, or not on Pandora. I'm gonna have to get used to saying Kairos and not Pandora, where you can actually be a vault hunter in your spare time, not just what's building the entire game, because in the lore they built out, there are thousands of vaults, hundreds of thousands of even. Myriad says literally for every major vault monster we know about, there are literally hundreds of dozens of vaults, dozens of hundreds of vaults per every one we know about. So for every vault we find, there's like 100 more waiting. So you literally can now on these planets just go off on a side activity, get a good bead on where a vault key is, and you can just hunt a vault on your own. Literally put the keys together, follow the clues, all of that, just straight up treasure hunter side objectives, and it's fucking fantastic. It's fantastic. We finally have an RPG Borderlands game, not just a looter. We finally have the RPG in the looter shooter RPG, not just a looter shooter. We have the RPG back in our looter shooter RPG. And not just a looter shooter. We have a RPG looter shooter. And it's just fucking great, man. Fishing is like really novel. You can get some good loot from it. You can also get fish from it. Although I wish they'd added a little bit more. And what I mean by adding a little bit more, like say, because you have your grapple mechanic, and we'll talk about that. Go really in depth with that. But it's like it also allows you to hold stuff in your offhand. But I'm just like, when you're fishing, and you use the grapple thing, and you can pull stuff out of the water, and then you hold a can of soda, and you get like trash out of the water, and it's like a can of soda, mostly a can of soda. And so it's just like, well, why not be able to buy stuff out of vending machines and get like a can of soda and then drink it? Or like in the Outbounders, which is the group with Rush, their base, they have like a little froyo stand. Why can't I buy a little froyo from that Outbounder and eat it in my offhand? And then, hey, cool, you get 10% cryo damage or some shit from it. Like little extra stuff like that. But other than that, I'm not going to complain too much because like it's awesome. We are so back. We're so back. We have RPG mechanics back in Borderlands. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we have med kits back. Med kits back. They're rep kits now. They're back from Borderlands 1. It's we've got so much shit back. It's great. It's great. It's just great. It's fucking great. It's something I literally thought after 3 and everybody bitching and moaning about how not exotics, how legendaries are the whole in game. I thought we were never gonna get stuff like this back, but holy shit, we are back. Like holy shit, we are back. This is awesome. And now, without further ado, let us finish up by talking about where we tread currently, and that being the world of Kairos. Okay, so last but not least, we are going to talk about the biggest change to Borderlands, that being the open world formula. Now, when they said they were going open world, I was actually kind of afraid. Like, I was open-minded to it, but I, like everybody else, was actually kind of afraid. At most, when they said they've always wanted to do an open world, you can tell in the games. That's what they've always gone for. You can literally see how they've designed and make like little transitions between zones. Like if they could have, they wouldn't have had fast travel gates there. Like you would have just been able to walk through the like little doors or gates or whatever, and you just be on Tundra Express. Basically, for all of my Borderlands veterans out there, imagine what I had in mind, and I was when I saw the premiere, I went back and started a new playthrough of 2. And so when I tried to wrap my head around it, imagine this. Before Sanctuary starts to take flight, you know, where Sanctuary is in Threehorn. Now, imagine Sanctuary is there. Imagine being able to walk walk or drive all the way from Moxie's bar in Sanctuary before it starts to fly. Imagine being able to walk all the way from Moxie's bar to Tiny Tina's house in Tundra Express with no load zones. That's essentially what I thought they were going to go. No. No, that is not at all what they've done. They've gone full Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and the meme tweet that I saw going around is Randy saying, "Oh, we're doing an Elden Ring." Yeah, like a lot of people, I thought that was just him memeing or like him just talking out of it. No, it's not. Now, getting back to what I said earlier, where me and my friend did that side quest, and we were just like, "Well, that was cool. We need to go like see these Outbander Resistance guys," and they were just like, "Oh, hey, this place is pretty big." And then we open up the map, and we're just like, oh, hey, are we going to teleport to another place? No, we're going to walk over there. And then we realize, wait a minute, that's not just the thing. And it was like, yeah. And oh, by the way, that place you were, yeah, that was just the beginning beginning of the part of the game, and then it literally zooms out, and it was just like, you're like this little speck. And by the way, imagine the first opening of the game, it was literally like that. It was literally like how Elden Ring opens. It's like, oh, you're in Limgrave, and you think that's all the map. And then the actual map opens up, and you're just like, oh, fuck. And you see, I actually thought that they were going to have, like a loading gate in between the zones, because when I went to fight Idolater Saul, you had to load into his boss arena, so I thought, oh, of course, they're probably going to have load screens in different zones. No, they're all interconnected. You can walk from one end to another. You just have to teleport into boss arenas, and some boss arenas are just out in the world. You can literally just go into them, and they're just in those buildings. Those buildings are just boss arenas out in the world, just like Elden Ring. The one thing I would say about the open world I don't like is that they got rid of the Borderland environmental kills, which is for some reason really weird. Like the desync errors are pretty bad because you can still really interact with the environment. Like you'll have in previous games where you'll see like little gas cans, custom gas cans, gas sitting around. And you shoot them, and they'll know nothing. No, you shoot them, they'll explode. Stuff like that. You shoot a battery, feathers come out of it. You shoot bottles, they break. You punch a wooden crate, it'll break. If you shoot propane tanks or the gas tanks like you could in 2 and 1 and 2, they'll explode. Shoot barrels, they'll explode, stuff like that. But it's weird because they don't have like the little gas knobs that they did. Like the little gas, the oil valves and the water valves and the generators and stuff like that. And I really felt those puzzles were really good because they're very, very good ways of interacting with the environment. And they've only really brought back the slam puzzles from 2. They haven't brought back like how you gotta pour water on generators or make water react to elements and stuff. And I was really puzzled by that they just didn't bring that back. And I'm just wondering why. Was it too much for... Could they not get it defended with PS5, or was it too janky already, or just they decided not to? I just don't really know why. But let's get back to brass tacks. Basically, the open world is a lot like Far Cry and put together, sort of like Far Cry, Cyberpunk. When I say that, I mean it really is like that. Where you literally will have like little order ships that just fly around out the border patrol, and they'll be surveying a little loot chest, and it would be dead-ass just random encounter. It's just a dead-ass random encounter like you have from Fallout or Cyberpunk, where people just, hey, literally come, beat these guys up, and take their little loot chest. And it will be get rep kits, shields, guns, grenades, anything you need from it. And on top of that, they have watchtowers and safe houses, like in Far Cry and in the Dying Light. Yeah, because they were doing Dying Light too. You could basically retake safe houses after you clear them out and buy little data slates to upgrade, activate their little computers. The computers inside are actually really cool because it will actually give you, the first time you load up, an actual live map of where all the collectibles are around. And I should mention on those while we're on it. Of where they are on the map. And then you actually have silos, which are order bunkers.
Little dying stuff, man.
The safe houses are like safe houses from Dying Light, where you will have vendors and a safe area to like customize and collect loot and stuff like that with a bank and everything. Order bunkers are different. Order bunkers will actually give you area data and actually tell you about all the collectibles in the area. And this is actually how you find both items, like I mentioned earlier. They will point them out and tell you. These two things are good because if you don't capture them, there are no fast travel points. So unless you want to be either driving or walking in between fast distances, you want to take as many of these as you can, or else there are no fast travel points. And then there are plenty of also side objectives and collectibles to find. There are these little randomly generated loot and survival caches that you can find. There are data logs you can find. There are messages from Enneads you can find. There are even little text files that you can find that will just be on your thing. There are literal Fallout style notes that you can just pick up and read from different psychos when they ripped out their bolts. And you can literally see their last thoughts, and you can just open them and read them. They won't be read to you; they're not voiced, and you can just read them. They're completely for flavor, and it's just awesome. Now, and there's also these things, little bubbles. I don't know what they're called. I did know, but they escape me right now. But basically, they're just big bubbles that you can encounter as little boss events, and they will just have a high chance of dropping legendaries. They're really hard. I've only ever cleared. I attempted 5, only cleared 2. They're very hard because you cannot go down and you cannot go outside the bubble. And when you're early level, they will bum rush you and kill you. And or when you're really like dodging around and moving like I've said you have, it's really easy to go outside that bubble. So they will catch you off guard on that. And if you do one of those two things, boss despawns. Boss despawns. Period. But outside of that, it's very good. Well, yeah, actually, that is very point. And also echologs and glyphs and just stuff in general. It is very good. Also, there are hidden collectibles. Like I went and got used height advantage from a order balloon or one of the order bunkers because they have these little balloons that will let you use your grappling hook. And I should talk about the grappling hook to get up in places. And that's the grappling hook is grappling hook and climbing mechanic is a huge part of those. Like, you will have little side objectives to climb up and just grapple up and all this stuff, and you'll have to carry stuff from one point to another, and it's just loads of side objectives, and like I said, just stuff to do. And it's great. It's just little side stuff to do. Literally, it's like the Fallout 4 effect. It's like, fuck the main game, I'm gonna just go have fun. It's literally just a bunch of side shit to do. And it's this kind of stuff that 76 kind of figured out. It's like, give people a fun gameplay loop, give them a good way to build out your character, and then just give them differentiated ways to earn said loot. And they won't care. They'll play it for fucking ever. Literally, all that's missing is from Borderlands 4 is literally I'd say some way to customize our bases more, like how you did your room in 3. Like, if you could get literally decorations to decorate your base, like put posters up or some shit like that. Bring back the vehicle customization for 3, and then my little pipe dream that is just some kind of voiceless dialogue chooser for when you're in cutscenes or you're interacting with characters. But then again, that's pretty outdated. So the other two basically customize your bases and bring back vehicle customization. And this would be the perfect Borderlands game. And then if that's all we're missing, Borderlands 4 is pretty great. Well, with that said, that is all I am going to say on the matter. Thank you for listening to this very long recording. I have been Ionic Archangel, and as always, God bless.